Coming up on Trendz Travel this week, we get an important history lesson as we look into our heritage as a country. The Selfie House in Melville has all you need for that perfect Insta shot. All you need to do is bring the sparkle. Spring cleaning? Maybe you should also consider putting some color into your house. In our last segment, we show you how. The South Africa that we know and love today has come a long way in terms of culture, heritage, and politics. One of the most well-preserved heritage centers is the Voortrekker Monument in Groenkloof, Pretoria. Here we find one aspect of our heritage, the great trek of the Voortrekker from Cape Colony across the country from 1836.
This is the history, and it depicts the history of the great trek and the pioneers and the Voortrekkers of the time. And it is extremely significant, especially coming to Heritage Month, to remember your history, your heritage, and where you come from. In times like this, in times today with COVID-19, people need hope, people need perseverance, and this is a message of hope and a message of perseverance. In Heritage Month, I think it's very important to remember that and remember the history and learn from history, and that's what we are. We are here as a cultural history organization, and as a monument that we just want to invite everybody, come in, come learn about history.
The monument was designed by the late South African architect Gerard Moordijk in 1937 and finished in 1949. The frieze frames on the walls depict the migration of the Afrikaner from the Cape to the Transvaal.
On this first panel, that shows us now when the Voortrekkers were moving out of Cape. As you can see, they are busy picking up their stuff. Look at the lady behind there, together with their cattle. This is our second panel. Now we see one of the British leaders on our left-hand side presenting the Bible to one of the Voortrekkers leader by the name of Jacobus Ace. While presenting that Bible, the British, they were now acknowledging some of the assistance that they had from the Voortrekkers. Now they are now thanking them about some of the assistance that they got from the Voortrekkers. That is why they were presenting that Bible. We do have that original Bible right here on our side. One of the Voortrekkers leader by the name of Piet Retief being appointed as the group leader. Basically, it was his inauguration. We are now going to see Piet Retief negotiating with the Zulus about a piece of land. We see now the Voortrekkers on our right-hand side meeting with King Dingane at his capital kraal, which was called Umgungundlovu. As you can see on our left-hand side, we can easily identify King Dingane as a king. Yeah. Look at from his head, there is this ring ball. As you can see, his Zulu warriors behind him, kneeling. That was a sign of respect. On our right-hand side, we see now Piet Retief together with his delegates. There were about 100 men that were accompanied him. It was on the 4th of February, 1838.
It was 2 days after the negotiations between the Zulus and the Afrikaners when the Zulu king Dingane invited them into his homestead for a ceremony. Upon arrival, the Boers were asked to leave their weapons behind, as this was a peaceful event. Some of King Dingane's advisors reminded him of two incidents where they had disrespected the king, how they did not kneel in front of him during the negotiations, and how they were seen roaming around his kraal at night, and that led to their demise. They were killed on the spot, with their leader Piet Retief killed last, which then led to the Battle of the Blood River.
From this panel, we see now the Voortrekkers 6 days before the Battle of Blood River making a covenant or a prayer They were saying that if God could guarantee them a victory against the Zulu warriors in the Battle of Blood River, they promised God three things. They said that if you, God, could guarantee us a victory against the Zulus, number one, we are going to commemorate that day. Number two, we are going to build a vow church, which was built in Pietermaritzburg. It's known as Umsunduzi Museum today. Thirdly, they said that if God could guarantee them a victory against the Zulu warriors, they are going to make that day a holiday.
The battle took place on the 16th of December 1838, lasted about 5 hours, killing over 3,000 Zulu warriors. The bottom part of the monument is a museum consisting of artifacts from the journey, some original ox wagons which have been refurbished, some personal belongings, and the original Bibles of Sir Andries Pretorius and Piet Retief. A few women also worked on a beautiful tapestry which took them 8 full years to commemorate this event. One phenomenon mentioned is that the sun shines directly into the monument from the top to the tombstone only once a year, on the 16th of December at exactly 12 midday. Some things we have to see for ourselves, but you don't have to wait for the 16th of December to visit this iconic place.
Welcome, guys, to the Historic Motorcycle Museum in Denaysville. This museum was built and formed by the late John Boswell. Unfortunately, John passed away only 3 weeks ago, but his memory now lives on in this museum.
The vision of the place was actually to create a conference centre, and things didn't go quite so good with that, and eventually John brought one of his bikes in from his storage down the road, and then the next one came and the next one came, and eventually the interest in the museum started there, and so over the years people have started displaying their bikes, and John brought his collection of motorcycles in. And the vision of the museum is basically to create an interest in motorcycles and to keep the history of motorcycling in South Africa going. He loved Triumph motorcycles, any British motorcycles, BSAs, Nortons, he specialised in those. And he spent many hours restoring old British bikes, and that was his speciality.
John was an ex-racer himself. From the 1970s and 1980s, he used to race sidecars, and he's also raced in many of the European circuits and in the Isle of Man. Now, as you walk into the museum, the first thing you're going to see as you walk through the door is this, I don't know what, this heap here, which actually shows John was a brilliant mechanic. He was absolutely brilliant at motorbikes and engines, but he also had a very good artistic flair, as can be seen from here. This contraption is a Triumph Bonneville engine, but I mean the fuel tank here is a fire extinguisher. He's got his ashtray on here. This is the clutch off a car. The gears are spanners. On the other side of here, he's got a double-barreled shotgun, and he's got a pistol up here. Everything is made from bits and pieces that he's found lying around. Also, besides the look of the appearance of this thing, it does work, and it goes on the road. This particular machine here was owned by a gentleman called Des Pistorius. He was famous among all the bikers for attending all of the rallies in South Africa, and he was also famous for not only attending the rallies, but everywhere he went, he took his dog with him, and the dog used to sit on the tank here. Here we have the oldest bike we've got in the museum. It's a 1915 Autoped. It's got a tiny little engine which runs on the front wheel. Here we have what they call speedway bikes, which speedway is rather like flat track racing. It goes around an oval circuit. And these particular bikes, this one is made by a company called Godden. This one down here is a Jawa. They date back to the 60s. The incredible thing with these motorbikes is they have an acceleration which is faster than a Formula One motor car.
Welcome to the Selfie House.
Okay, let's face it, taking a good selfie requires a whole lot of work. Good background, good makeup, good lighting, and of course, a good phone. But what if I told you there's a place that you can go to that got you covered on all the other levels? The Selfie House. I think I'm about to get my selfie game on another whole lot of levels. Let's go see.
So this is a room where it's flexible and can interchange at any time. So to host shoots like baby shoots, wedding shoots, graduation shoots, we can just unstrip everything and just set the room up for a specific shoot. These balloons work in a nice atmosphere if you just maybe hang them up, and as the people walk out of the booth, you can actually see the backdrop of the balloons. So the next booth I'm about to show you, it's one that I created with clocks. So I took different type of clocks and then I plugged them onto the wall. And then different shapes like square, kettle, apple, and all the round clocks that we used. So where I'll be taking you is actually one of my favorite booths. I think the color red, it just stands out.
Yeah.
And as we walk in past, you can see other booths that we have. And as we have also one of these flower frames, and actually ladies just love this frame. So as I said, this is my favorite room. I think I love the color red. And these are two booths actually facing each other. And this one of the frames is actually my favorite wall, as the way it comes out in pictures with proper lighting. You get just beautiful pictures from this wall here. One thing that I can actually be proud of is that this is my design. So I put it together, says, you know what, we need to cut these frames and put the frames together. And just as I said, what I love is that the picture quality that comes out based on this background is just outstanding. We have the Great Britain, which this is the Union Jack flag. This is the Great Britain flag. Some people have asked, why don't you have something African? I said, no, as time goes on, we go and we change the boots. So this will be coming off, but the color scheme here also works beautifully, whether you use a chair, whether you use an ottoman, or actually you can even sit on these suitcases here, and it just complements the whole wall, and it's the Union Jack. So this is a very funky wall. So we've got a few formal type of booths, and then we needed something very funky, very playful, and quite informal. So how people take a picture is that they go in between the lips and they take a selfie from there. And then they get a very bright yellow that actually is the surround of the background. And actually the lips, the red just comes out, and it just brings good quality pictures from this one here. So this is one of the booths that people really love taking pictures in. So people here, especially for this booth here, they dress in black. They strictly dress in black because they just want to fit in with the theme that's the black and white theme here. And it's a 3D wall art. And actually when you're standing here, it looks like you're standing behind a wall, multiple walls in a room, and it's a tunnel. So it's people just love this wall here. The newspaper room. So this wallpaper is made up of newspapers. So we put it together, and to be honest, this was the least favorite room we had in the Selfie House. However, what I saw photographers do with this wall, I was impressed. You know, they have used this pole here, and this pole lays a pose. I saw them just hanging from the pole, and they're just swinging on the pole, and it has been just an amazing pictures that have come out of here. And because it's a bit of an informal booth, we've used a beanbag, so you can sit on the beanbag, stand on the beanbag, or just get another chair or couch you can put in here, and you can get another picture that is fantastic to have used this room. So this, I call it Joburg's favorite wall. A lot of people just love taking pictures here, and this is the wall that everybody wants to be at, and this is the wall that actually, when you show people what the Selfie House is about, this is the wall that we use. A lot of people just want to sit on this couch and just take pictures here because this is the most trending wall in Joburg. So ladies just love sitting here and they just love taking pictures here and actually imitating this lady's pose by holding the chin area, and beautiful and amazing pictures come out of here. So this is a bit of a formal type of a booth where we have these rose gold circular rings that reflect the lighting that we use. So sometimes we have that effect where we advise the people to have like a slow motion video, and we use somebody to fan actually these things, to have that vigorous fan, and these lights actually they just glitter and just create that ambiance. So the rose gold really comes out boldly from the black because of for you to get the actual glitter, you have to use a very dark color. That's why we chose black.
The spring-summer season has officially landed, and most of us are struggling to get rid of those dull, boring winter colors. But do not worry, because I've got you covered. I'll be chatting to interior designer Siabeshwa, who will give us some tricks and trades on how to keep that house bright and colorful. Follow me, let's go. What are you showing us today?
Today, I'm showing you a few tricks and trades on how to spruce up your living room and your bedroom, just to bring that spring into your house and just like brightening up your space for the summer. So as you can see, we've gotten rid of the winter feel in the room, and we're going to brighten it up and just add textures, play with colors that will basically accentuate the space. And we still have the base furniture here, but we'll just accessorize it just to bring in that brightness in the space. So we've got a play of texture in the cushions. We've got some floral ones and some geometric ones. So we'll play around with them. So it's nice to have puffy cushions that you can, style up properly, style up nicely, and, put on your sofa.
So why do you split floral and just ordinary color?
There's no rules. So you could mix it up, you can mix and match. It's up to you what you really want to feel. I mean, these are bright enough, and they, I've got this combo just to come out more on the gray sofa. Okay. And then on this sofa, we've got more of a geometric and more plain. So you're just playing around with textures, and we've got your velvets, you've got your linens. And then this is a throw, there's those rainy days that, so here we are mixing a bit of the geometric feel that you can just throw on your sofa, just to, bring a different dynamic to it. So if your guest is there and they really want to cuddle up, or if you want to cuddle up, then you can just, use that throw. So you see we've played with lots of colors in terms of the, things that you can easily get rid of, interchange through the seasons. So as I said, with the season, there's a lot of pollen in the air, and a lot of people get affected by, sinuses and hay fever. So this is quite a nice dry plant that you can put in your corner. With that, I like to put tissues on the side there. Then to dress up your coffee table, I like to put a few diffusers, your coasters, your remote box. I like neatness. So your remote box basically puts in everything that you use in your day-to-day. So kind of cluster things in one corner so you can still use the coffee table for whatever else that you need.
This is very nice. This is very nice and informative. So the bedroom.
So I'll be taking you through the bedroom, just how it's set and creating that calmness in the space. Even though it's still the season of spring, your bedroom still needs a bit of calmness in it, and you can play with muted colors in the space. So your linen can be literally like, this is a pistachio gray, so that's the pistachio gray, and then you've got like a dark print floral with a linen texture, and then we've just added a bit of color at the back. So these are your back cushions, just to pop a little bit. So these cushions are like a synonym color. And you've got your velvet headboard, which is quite comfortable, and a muted wallpaper at the back. and you always want to add a bit of texture and like a bit of the earth inside your room. And then we've got these industrial side lamps, bedside lamps that you can switch on if you want to read. In this this bookcase, or what you call a pedestal, you've got space to store your books, and it's quite minimalistic in its essence. On the other side, I've included a praying candle, so I always like to have praying candles and a candle like to censor the room, and also a diffuser.
And there's no blankets, right? Because of it's hot.
There's no blankets, so literally you've got your all-season duck feather inner, which will be right for all seasons. So that's the technology that you have, that you don't have to have your ngwenyama blanket on top of your bed. Of course. So you just make sure that your duvet inner is all seasons. So I think we're done, and we can just go enjoy some cocktails outside and enjoy the spring day.
Okay, cool. Let's go.
Cool.